Okay.
Okay, there we go, recording.
Okay. And I can mute everybody just for now for the kids, even though I love all your kids there and my own in the background. Okay, so you're going to have your little, I'm using a little 7x5 canvas, and I have just the flat brush that we use with the workshops. It doesn't matter if you have a round brush or what sort of brush you have, but a pencil to begin with is a good call. And really, it's like anything. If I was teaching you how to do any kind of buildings, we would talk about shapes. So any of you that are new around here, or anyone that's been around for a while will know, it's basically you just break everything into shapes. Okay, so if we were to do that, this is like a semicircle on the top. This is a classic royal postbox, and then royal mail, and then we've got a rectangle, and then you have a bit of a square on the bottom. So let's do that on our little guy. And once we get the template down, the snow is just an added extra. For any of you that were there on Thursday night, snow is rarely white. It falls into the blue category, the pinks, into the yellows, and into the greys. Tonight we're going to focus on greys mainly. So we're really going to use reds with a few tones of brown, and then blacks and greys. So I'm going to go for pretty much the center so that it falls the same way as this guy does. So we're going to just, if you start with your rectangle to begin with, okay, and do it nice and lightly with your pencil. I'm using a Sharpie because it's easier for you to see. And then rather than a mushroom top at the top, you want it to come up a little bit on each side, and then you're curving it over. And again, because the snow, you're going to let this be like a little abstract one, because even on my original, it's a little bit wonky, but I think that adds character. And then just down at the bottom, we're going to add in a square there, and that's where the black bit is at the bottom. And again, let the lines be nice and free flowing for that. This is actually oil bar, which is a mixture between oil pastel and oil paint. So it was really just, I did it with my fingers whenever I did it. Okay, and then just to indicate where our lines are going to be, we're going to have our, like the main area where the post box is, which again, rectangle. Good work. And then I've indicated just a little bit of like a triangle. So just go nice and light with your pencil. So you have a nice little line with a pen. This is just where all of the, and there's another little area. That's where you find out when they're open. And then again, there's just a few, there's another little square here, and then another wee rectangle. Really, it's just made up of all the little shapes. And the idea being, whenever we get to the paint, one side will inevitably be darker than the other, so that there's a real, shadow on one side, and that will also help with the snow. Okay, and then just for the snow on the top, I want you to separate this wee mushroomy bit here. Add a little line in from the right-hand side halfway across. If you're sketchy, I'm using a pen, so it's very simple the way I'm breaking it down. But if you're using a pencil, allow your fingers to sketch up around there. And then our snow is going to sit just the way it would. I think I was doing a practice earlier, and I will show you it. This place is an absolute mess because, praise the Lord, we had orders come out of our ears today. Okay, I had it sitting here. Here we go. So even here, you can see with mine, like this is me using a pencil. Can you see that sort of cloudiness up here? So I want you just to add like a little cloud on the top. Let it be nice and free flowing. Let it fall over the top of your little mushroom head. It can be a lot less jaggy than mine is there. And then a little bit of snow's hanging off over here. Like that's showing you there when I was sketching earlier. In the same way, you want to break up the bottom. So snow always sits nice and, see around the bottom here, let those free flow in. Just little, really they're squiggles. I'll do it on this one for you. But the only reason you're doing this is because we haven't really, it's not like we're warming up, we're just straight into this. So I want you to just let yourself enjoy the squiggles there. Like we're just implying that there's some here. Good. Okay, because this is in a small area, and you can work on your big A4 page if you want, or you can fold it over. If you're on a canvas, I would love you to use the paint nice and thickly. If you're being on any of my workshops and you're using the little paints that we send out, they can work quite well. They're a bit better whenever they're used nice and thinly, but whatever paint you have, like, just enjoy this and enjoy applying. You don't need very much red paint for this, so you can do it nice and thickly, or equally not. So just to get us warmed up, let's just mix, because of our, let me see, I know there's 12, let's see. Sorry if anyone's just joined. Great, because we are, like how wonky my post box is, hopefully. Do you want me to see all yours, actually? No, we're not. I can see you all in gallery view. Everyone was able to follow that okay? Awesome, is what it is. Good, good, lovely. If you want to get started in the colour, that's it. If you're here and you really just wanted the company and you paint all the time, please crack on, don't worry. If you want to stay for the teaching bit, then this is your chance now. Rather than do all of our usual colors of mixing red and orange, red and yellow to make orange, blue and yellow to make green, blue and red to make purple, tonight we're going to make basically a few versions of an orangey red, and then we're going to make 2 browns. So there's Karen too. Hi, Karen. So do you want to take a photo of this? Because we just, or did you get started? Did you get yours started? Yes? No? I'll take you this here, what I say. Or do you want to take a photo of that in your phone? Would that be? Or you're using your phone? I could probably do a screen grab. Basically, we do a rectangle, and then like a little mushroom head, and then this is really just shapes, but they're only as a guide because you're painting over them. The first thing we're going to do is make an orange. So red and yellow, if you just make an orange for me. So you can start with your lighter color. Girl that I worked with there over the summer, running workshops with her, for her, she was a nail technician and taught me to use the lighter color first. So take some yellow, clean your brush, and then take some yellow. Nope, red. So yellow, good dose of it. And red. Go heavier on the red so that you get a real blood orange for your first one, and then that makes it. So the way to make it more on the red scale is to add more of the red. Well done. Yeah, that's lovely, Anne. Good work. Okay, and just like every day, every time, just mix the colors so that you get a solid color. Excuse me. And then on one side of that nice orange that you've mixed, take another decent scoop of red. And on the other side, you're going to make it so they're very close in color. Can you see that? But it's, to be honest, you're mostly using red with a tiny bit of yellow, but they're on the orange scale. Okay, brilliant. Now, clean that brush. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of blue. So we're going to make a dark version of these. This is starting to go under the brown scale. So a little bit of blue, enough on your brush so that you can see it. And on that side, if you've got enough paint, you're going to do the blue. So it starts to go on the purple scale, but really what you're doing is you're making a really aubergine, see this color of purple. Doesn't matter if yours is different color to that. If you're new to my teaching, this is your color. This is whatever, as long as it's a darker version of yours. So the very first one is our orange, but it's mostly red orange, blood orange. Our second one is a lot of red into that. And our third one is a little bit of blue. And if you're having trouble mixing, just add a little bit of water. That will move your paint. And if you find that yours is just bright reds, nearly on the pink scale, do not worry. As long as you have 3 shades of it, I'm not going to worry. Good work. Okay. Lastly, clean your brush. This is in the reds, okay? Just because I want us to really enjoy the depth that we can achieve with one color. You're going to take some red now, put it just beside where you've been mixing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to, I'm like a broken record of this, you always need a lot of the light color to make something lighter. You need very little of the dark to make something darker because the pigment in them, so your blues and your grays are very dark. You're going to touch your brush into the black ever so slightly, tiny bit into the black, and you're going to mix that into your red. Now you will see, if it's too dominant, just lift it up and set it to the side and reset with a little bit of red. But there you'll start to see. So it's a tiny bit of black into your red. Lovely. Sometimes I watch everybody and listen to myself and think it's a bit like I've asked you all, do you know, like the measuring out of pills? People are so measured, it's brilliant. Everyone's so good at being like, that's right, she said not that much. Okay, right, need to add more water. And I can see the brushes then go. So thanks everyone for following, because this is a whirlwind one tonight. Okay, and then we are going to clean our brush again. And black will be the really dominant color at the end, but I want us to make just 2 or 3 shades of gray, just so that we get that variation. It's not just really harsh. And as I was saying, you will need then a lot of the white with a little bit of black to begin with. We're going to start with the light gray. I actually have a tutorial, or I did have in my teachable plan, which is all about tonal value. But and a little bit of black, and you make your first gray. So there's my first gray. It doesn't matter, like, to be honest, these are just for little touches around the post box, so it doesn't matter, but there's my first gray. And just enjoy the mixing. And if you want to get started, please do. Do you know what? Do you want me to hold that up actually for anybody if you want to take a photo of that, and then you can just work away yourself, even if we get cut off? Anybody wants to? I know some of your... Okay. Good work. Right. Now you're going to make a darker version of that again. So we need some black, and on the side of that gray, we're going to mix it. So we've got a darker gray again. Lovely. And some of your reds will fall into like a much more raspberry red, you know, the red that comes out of the tube, or it might be more of the cadmium red, which is the more orangey red. So don't worry of whatever it does. So let's get some paint onto our little guy. Good to see you, Lauren, Karen, Laura, Claire, Gail, Anne, everybody. Other Laura Hutchins too. And Hutchison McGee. This is why I got confused when I see the 2 Lauras, because I don't know if you've noticed that, girls, but there's 2 of them. Right, so we're going to go for the first orange we're going to go for is the lighter one, okay? And where are you going to put that to begin with? And just commit to it, okay? Just commit. Get the paint on there. This is our little abstract post box. They're going to be beautiful anyway, and because it's snow, you could just cover it in snow if you need to in the end. It's been like a pile up. But where we're going to add it is just around the bottom of where the letter goes in, and along underneath, and then down this left hand side. The nice thing is that little flat brush, it's quite good for that. Okay. And just up at the top where the light didn't get, where the snow is, you see there? Good. And if you want to be much more free flowing with it, please do. I'm just breaking this down into really simple steps. So with the brush that you have then, go for the second one. So that's your red that has more of the red in it. Go figure. And it doesn't matter if these start to merge. Okay, this is whenever you're going to add a wee bit of harmony, I like to talk about, like there's just a little bit of a language between each color. And really what you're going to do is start to just add in the darker shade on the other side. See there, we start to see these little grades of change. So this side's our darker side. And when you have red, red is considered a dark shade anyway. So it is always quite dominant. So when you get that stronger red, I think it's lovely. And if you feel it's not strong enough, add lots more red into that orange and just do that. Okay, and then we're going to go up onto this side up above. So it's a little bit darker up here. So you'll see we nearly have an S shape here. And the same in and underneath where the snow is. If you're like, what is she talking about? Just put red all over it and we can go over the top of it, okay? Nobody panic. I'll know that you tried and that you mixed all the colors. So you see at the bottom where the black is in the bottom, there's just, I added in a little bit of red down there too. We're going to go over that with black, but just to put a wee bit down here where the bottom of that last square is, okay? Come into it and then come out of it. So you're over your lines. Well done. Now, I'm going to have to bring this back to life a little bit, but your darker one that has the blue bit in it, if you can load that up onto your brush as well. Look at your lines of your post box, because I was doing it looking around like that. I'm going to tighten those lines up so it's a lot, and I'm going to use, this is the darker side. So my right-hand side, is that right to you as well? This one here, right-hand side is the darker side. No, other way, left, is it? That one. You decide. I have no idea. I'm like back to front, upside down. Right. Okay. Well, the one that does this one here is the darker side anyway. Pick one side. One side's darker than the other, right? So I'm going to go for this side here. Now you'll see that it really does interrupt everything. It becomes quite dark, but look how lovely. See, look at that. It's not just a flat red. And take your time with it. Look at mine sits out a little bit. I'm going to bring that up a bit higher, and I'm going to bring that a bit wider. Just look and see where you can tighten up your lines. Just really look at it. Enjoy it. You'll never look at a post box the same again after tonight. I love post boxes so much. I made a whole series of them. Got little postcards of them. Okay, I'm going to tighten these lines up again here. And same thing in around here where the snow has gotten on one side. So you want to make that a little bit darker. But remember I was saying about there's a little line comes in there. Just indicate under there. Look, see that? Just indicate with that dark. Lovely. Well done. And again, bring a wee bit of it down into the snow. This is going to be black anyway at the bottom, but bring it down into there. Lovely. Okay. Remember those greys that we had? Ooh. Take the browny red, the last red that you had. I've just cleaned my brush, but I should have just kept it as is. Into your darkest grey. You're going to scoop some of that colour up And I know I always like to push you a little bit this because I want you to enjoy color. I don't want to say to you, look, just take it straight out of the tube. That orange, which had more red and then more blue, which is this one here. This is my one here. Scoop it up and add it to your darkest gray. Roll your brush and that'll pull the paint off it. And then add that onto your brush, even if it's just a little hint on it. Can you see how I've lined this quite definitely with dark? So that's what we're going to do. Can you see the outline of that at the very top here? See the outline up here and up here on the whole side. Look, it's very much as if I've drawn around it with a marker. I want you to indicate that with this color, okay? Just right round, pretty much the whole side. Go thinner on the side that's the lighter side. And then you're going to fill in where the top is there. See the top of our post box and the other side, isn't it? And if you're using watercolors, just really enjoy the bleed of all of this too. Don't know whether some of you are using watercolors or acrylic or what. Oh, look, Theo's already hers done. That's lovely. Beautiful. And then we're going to fill in the dark as well on this. So just fill in where underneath where the red bits were. And let me just see, put the lines on that. And then you want to just imply there's little shadows underneath because it's always a little piece of paper. So your shadow is on under there. Just line your brush along. If you're using a round brush, just line it along underneath. Look at the little shapes that we have and just put a few little, like this is going to be dark here because this is where the post is going to go in the top. But any of these other guys, just add in a few little areas of shade. Trust yourself on it. I'm also going to add in on this other side here, like an extra little line. See there? So it sort of cuts it off a wee bit, and then just not the whole way, but imply that it's here, imply that it's on the other side. Awesome. Would anybody, now this is not for marks out of 10, this is for, you can do gallery view. Claire Kelly, maybe not you because you're recording. No, you can. Please do gallery view. It's actually really good for people that are joining whenever they're recording. So if everybody is happy to do gallery view, just humor me for like 30 seconds and hold them up just so you see. Like, look, mine's a little wonky thing, but look at how pretty they are. Look, and everyone's is different. We all start with the same template. Beautiful work. Well done, everyone. Love it. Right, and the shading is awesome. Okay, good. And like anything, it's just about layers. I'm like a broken record when it comes to that too. Okay, with this gray, clean your brush really well. What we're going to do now is make the lightest of grays that you can. I'm actually running out of white here, but I want you to take loads of white and a minuscule area of black. The reason being, if you want, you could even actually make a light gray out of the gray that you've got there, but a little touch of black. The reason being that often the way we would start if we had longer to do this, with snow, it's good to put your layer down. I really do need to get more white. It's good to put a layer of white down before you start snow. I don't know if it's a psychological thing, but that's what I always do. So this is going to be a very, very, very bright white with a little bit of gray in it. Can you see mine there is pretty much white? This is one here. So you can see it better in that light. And with that, and if you're on a large page, just pick an area around for the snow. It'll even be quite nice if it doesn't go the whole way. If you're in a little canvas like me, I want you to fill in all around and even go around your pencil marks up at the very top. But can you see that ever so slight change? So it's a really, really, really light gray. Cool. And I want you to put that the whole way around. Use this time to also tighten up those lines again and make them a little bit stronger. You'll be surprised how white can actually be quite dominant when it wants to be if you apply it nice and strong in and around. And again, use some water to move the paint if you need, or else if you're using lovely big thick strokes of paint, just make sure you have enough on there. I actually love this bit because it starts to then take a wee bit of shape. What a cute painting. So if I could give anyone any advice, if you're thinking about doing more painting over Christmas, invest in more white paint. You will always need it. If this was an in-person workshop, I just constantly go around. People say, can I have more white? Can I have more white? Can I have more white? So you will always need a lot of white. But that's lovely. Now, the only thing is you can also lighten colors with yellow. Yellow is a good lightener. Okay, and then with that gray white as well, go over your white label, the label in the center. And underneath, there's that little white area too. So it's not white, but you're using that gray white here in the middle bit, and then underneath, and then to fill in your snow on the top. But keep your lines, the dark lines, nice and definite there, because we're going to make those a little bit brighter in areas and darker in other ones. Okay, great. And with that as well, we're going to add that the snow is going to fall in on this side here where the dark side is. You're going to use that it's very dark white. What would you call that? I bet you'd call that like elephant's breath or something if it was a Fire and Ball advertisement. So just above where the black's going to be, just touch a little bit of snow in there, right? Interrupt that black there. This is going to be black underneath. Just going to interrupt there. Snow falls in little flakes. So we're going to also add a little bit underneath. Just a few, turn your brush on its side and we dabble underneath there. Mine's actually very definite, but just imply that a little bit of snow is caught in when someone's been putting their letter in. And the same with just above it. Just roll your brush around. There we go. And the good thing is this stops you being too uniform with this. You know, if this was just a summer's day one, I'd want you to be much more tight with the lines, but we want this to be like it's on a street, you know. That's my snow gale sound. Okay, back to our grays again. With whatever's on your brush, go to your grays. Do you remember we had that gray that we hadn't really touched? So if you could bring it back to life. If you don't have it, just use white with a little bit of black in it again, but a little bit darker than what we had here, okay? Again, we're just building and building and building our layers. So choose where you want, excuse me again, sorry, the snow to go. See here, I'm going to put the snow out in like a little, it's like a little divot here. I think I used that word Thursday night, divot. It is a little indent in snow here. You can do it like a C shape if you want, like a bird. 1, 2, 1, 2. Otherwise, just choose a little squiggly area that you're going to look. Can you see how that starts to sit out? It's really exciting. Whenever you do snow with different grays and you add, all you're doing is finding an area here. And one side you want to be slightly darker, or maybe turn up over here. But if you watch any tutorials on snow, look, we're just implying that it's totally covered. Here we go. Lovely. Same with up above. Our snow is going to be brighter on the top. It's going to be darker underneath. Start to add in underneath. Now, if you've got a very thick brush, just try to load it up with enough paint so that you can use the paint thickly. I'm nearly in on top of this screen here, but I want you to be able to see how. Doesn't need to be as far off as that, but there we go. just think of it as light and shade. The lighter on the top, so underneath must be darker. Same with where our little guy is here, the little notice. I have done it that one side is really a little bit darker, so same thing there. Look at, see which side of your post box is darker and make the little notice a bit darker too. But again, don't be too tight with the lines there. And the same with this wee one underneath. With that darker grey too, you can feel free to start to come up onto the bottom of the post box, just indicating that it's there. Now, I actually have on this side over here a little bit, so I'm going to do it like as if there's a little bit here, it's fallen off. I'll add a bit of bright to that soon. Okay, let's go for darker grey again then. If you want to be adventurous and add in a blue, you can, but I just quite like that this is very much red tones and black and white, because it's a really good skill to get. We're monochrome, so basically if you're working with light and shade, black and white and introducing one color. So really what we've done is we're doing black and white with just our red. It really helps skill sets in tonal value. Okay, so another grey. So again, you're just going to add a little bit of darker black to that again, just starting to get your darker shade of grey. Well done, everyone. This is super speedy. That's the way I like it. Oh, look at all these little ones coming in too. I can see someone has deleted. Hello. And I saw Jacob a second ago and Lucy. Love it. Love when the kids are interested in some capacity. Okay, so similar to what we were doing, except look at your dark lines and underneath you want to add in, but you can make these a little bit swoosh more, just you can make these a little bit more whimsical if you like. They don't have to be as definite, but I want you to line wherever you've got with the dark, slightly darker. If yours is dramatically darker, like I'm going to add now, I'm going to add a really much darker grey here now. That's okay too. The more you have, the better. But whatever you do, just follow it through completely. You know what I mean? So don't hesitate to make it nice, deep snow. And the same with up here. We're going to start to make this a little more fluffy. You want that to be that really powdery snow that just we don't get in Northern Ireland. No, some of you aren't in Northern Ireland though. Some of you girls in Scotland, London might. Okay, and because of time frame, we're going to go pretty much like I am actually. What I'm going to do is I've just lost the top of mine completely here, so I'm going to use my red to bring the top back into mine. See here? I'm just going to bring that back. So do that before we finish up. We're going to go to our very, very dark. If anyone that joined late, I promised my sons would go for a walk. So that's why I'm going to be really good at time, because I always love to just keep going until I get the teaching over. But look at it and see where you want to add red before we finish. If you want to add any more red in anywhere, and make sure the shape of it is still there. Where's mine going? You can also add red back in to where the snow was. You can go back over that. You can go over areas that are dark as well, just to bring those back to life. Just trust the process. I don't know what I've just done here. The good thing is, whenever you use a finisher color, like a really, really dark black, with a little bit of white in it, mostly just black though, is that you actually can cover a multitude of sins. So that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to use our black to define the shape and make it stand out a bit more. So I'm going to fix this is the black, okay? It's black with a teeny tiny bit of, I'll show you how dark mine is. Can you see there? really stands out, but it's lovely. It's lovely against the, so black and white are our finishers, and I know we're doing this at super speed. Thank you everybody for, and then you're going to use a bit of black here. Same with the bit where the post box, the opening of it there. Look, once you do that, I think it really becomes a proper post box, and there's another little line above that. And then the same with the hat, the mushroom, if you like. Think about the top. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring, mine's just so wonky, I'm going to straighten it up there. And I'm going to do over the top. You can do one side fully black if you want, but again, it doesn't have to be, see at the bottom there, it doesn't have to be a big solid black square. Just let it be where the snow has interrupted it. It's cute, isn't it? I can hear my kids are back from their walk. They're not going to be like, are you ready? And then up here, the little mushroom head, don't forget about it. Doesn't matter if it's a wee bit skew with, it's because of the snow. Now, the last finisher, clean your brush really, really well. Well done, everybody. And the cool thing is we're using white straight out of the, straight to go. What you can do with this is if you can have it loaded up like that if you want, or if you want to just do it a little bit lighter touch. Either way, I want you to look and see where the very, like literally, you want to think about snow as if the light is right above for now. Well, it might be above and to the side a little bit with this, but basically for snow, any snow you're thinking about, think about the light is hitting it right above. So that's your very, very bright snow is on the top. Look at how thick I've made mine too. Oh, this is the fun of it. And just don't have it too definite. Have it so it's nice and same with down here. I want you to start adding in your, you can have one side really piled with white snow if you want, and just a few hints on the other side, or maybe when it comes out away from it. Or you can have some of it coming right up. I can hear someone saying, Mommy, outside the door. And the same with our little letter. Remember we were saying about the wee bits of snow that have fallen on, they've blown in the wind. And then you can add in up here, like you can add in some more of your snow. Now, I know I'm pushing everybody because of time, whatever, but whenever we finish, you can add in, like I'm adding in little areas. I want you to play with the background so you don't feel like it's really deadpan, or if you want it, you can change it into a really bright pink if you want. But look at the way I've got these variations of the white. Can you see that? Feel free to do that because, as I was saying, it's rarely one color snow, but it's certainly not flat white. Okay, good work. I'm going to just finish in with a few squiggles of the complete black. So you can do that with me if you want to. And the way to do that is really just the very deepest of snow is where you're going to apply. Good. The last thing I would say is if you really are feeling adventurous, you can bring your pencil back in and score into all those lines again and put a few squiggles in the back. But what a fun Monday night. For me anyway, yeah. Oh, at the minute, like, it's so funny because I have the girls help me process, put orders. But like all I've ever wanted is to have like lots of orders, which I do. So at the minute, all I do is process orders and fill paint pots, because I fill every one of these by hand, which is just insane. But I feel like that's part of the beauty of it all. So when I get to paint, I couldn't wait all day for this. Very excited. So thank you for joining me. If you're happy, if you want to cover your face, you can cover your face. But would you mind if I took a photo of everybody's? I would be so excited if you would let me. Beautiful work, Anne. Did I bring my phone? I did. If you're happy to, I would absolutely love to. If you don't want to, you can turn off your. Oh, they're lovely. I'll wait to see if everybody wants to. Can you guys do gallery view to see how pretty these are? Look at how festive we are. Talita, are you not wanting to share yours? No, I'd love you to. You're being very, because you're working hard. I could, gorgeous. Right, let's see, everyone. Oh, thank you. You can take yourselves off mute as well. I know that was really rushed, but I want you to see like how in 45 minutes we were able to make something which is really cute. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yes, you're so welcome. So remember, you can join the free academy, although we've now launched the subscription one, which is now like you can do 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 10. But otherwise, you can go on my YouTube and get all the free tutorials. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a lovely evening, guys. Bye. Feel free to share and tag me.
Thanks, Sally.
Merry Christmas.